Hello and welcome back to our YouTube channel. Today I am going to be talking to you about swaddling. That fun, enjoyable game that many parents try because the nurse in the hospital made it look so easy that she handed you a burrito and you thought, wow, this is great. You get home, yeah, it doesn't quite look so much like a burrito, maybe more like a messy taco. So we're going to talk you through all of your options when it comes to swaddling your newborn, why you should swaddle, and maybe some things to look out for too. For those of you who are new to our channel, hello there, my name is Maria, and today you are joining us in our prenatal education studio here in Oakville. One of the things that we do in our prenatal classes is give you the opportunity to practice swaddling, but today I'm going to tell you as much as I possibly can in this short video. So, why would you swaddle? It's a great question. Many parents are going to want to know the answer to that. Well, the reason you're going to want to swaddle your baby is because you're going to want some sleep. And unfortunately, babies don't do well most often without some swaddle. And the reason for that is because their hands are free and babies are born with what is known as their Moro reflex or their startle reflex. And so if their hands are free and they get startled, which they do on the regular basis, they can make themselves either wake up or give themselves a fright and start to cry. Whereas if their hands are nice and snuggy, either across their chest or down by their arms, that vibration is much less intense, and as a result, they can sleep through it. It also means that you're not going to get those lovely claw marks because babies don't really know what they're doing with their hands, and so as a result, they can scratch themselves or they can scratch you. So if you're looking for some sleep, it's a really great way to make sure that your baby's not got those helicopter arms going on. So here is my lovely baby, and there are a couple of different things that you can do when you're swaddling them. The first thing we want to talk about is temperature. We want to make sure that the temperature is a nice temperature in their room, first of all, and then that they're dressed accordingly. So if it's, pretty warm, you might not want to have them in anything else, maybe a vest and their diaper and the swaddle over it. If it's the winter months and it's cooler, they might want to have a vest, a pajamas and a swaddle, or they might just want to have a pajamas and a swaddle. So think about the layers that you yourself are wearing. How warm is your house? Is your heating on overnight? All of those kind of things all come into play. When it comes to understanding whether you have a hot baby or a cold baby, some babies run very warm, other babies run a little bit cooler. One of the things that it's really not a good idea to do is to go by their arms or their feet. Their arms and their feet are not a good indicator of whether your baby is warm or cool, for the simple reason that their extremities, which is their hands and their feet, doesn't have quite good blood flow, and as a result, they are going to give you a false positive or a false negative in telling you that they are cool. You're much better off to put your hand into their chest and check their chest. Or if you're holding them over your shoulder, put your hand in over here so that you can check their back. If they're wearing a two-piece, you can slide your hand up their back or up onto their belly, and that is a much better way. Now, of course, if you're ever worried about your baby's temperature or overheating, you should have a thermometer to be able to check their temperature, and that way then if they do have a fever, you need to seek emergency help. So once we've decided how many layers we're going to put on baby, then we can decide which swaddle we're going to use. So today I have 3 different swaddles. Pros and cons to everything in life, just like there is pros and cons to swaddles. So this is probably one of my favorites in terms of swaddle. This is the Halo Swaddle Sack. And so Halo you might be aware of if you're aware of the brand, and they do a really great range of sleep sacks. Babies should not wear blankets to bed. They should wear a wearable blanket or a sleep sack. So this is called a wearable blanket or a sleep sack, but this is a swaddle sack because it has the wings or the arms on it. And what I love about it is that it actually comes with the instructions on the inside. So if you're a first-time parent, you've never done this before, or a second-time parent who didn't really get the knack of swaddling first time around, this will make it super, super easy for you. So what we do is we take the swaddle sack, we open it up, and get baby ready. So as you can see, I just opened up the zipper, I opened up the arms or the wings, and so I'm going to place baby in here. And so one arm in this hole and the other arm in this hole, bring it across baby, and then tie up the zipper. And that is how a sleep sack would work if it wasn't a swaddle sack. So a traditional sleep sack, that is the way that it would work. Super quick, super easy. When we're going to want to swaddle them, then here we go. So we follow the directions on the inside, which is the baby is in the sleep sack like so. Put the hands down by the sides, and then we take this side over, across their chest. We want to make sure that it's snug, but it is not tight. The reason that we don't want it tight is it's usually a good idea for your baby to be able to breathe. So we wanted to have it snug across the chest, but not tight. And we also want to have it come in a downward angle across their chest. We never want it high on the chest. We don't want it on the neck, because any amount of movement and it could come up to their mouth. So it comes at a very slight angle across their chest. And then we're just going to roll them over and tuck it under their bum. And the weight of their body helps to anchor it. But then on the opposite side, we have the Velcro. And the Velcro is what's really going to seal the deal and make it stay shut tight for you. So again, you can give it a little tension, nothing too much. And again, nice and snug across the chest. And then you just want to fasten the Velcro. Now, when you're finished, there's two things I want you to check. The first one is that you can get your arm in under the baby and in under the swaddle. And that means that there is enough room for the rise and fall of their chest so that they are not going to have any difficulty breathing, and that the swaddle is in a good position. So as you can see here, it is below the chest. Now this is a doll, it's not a baby, so it's not as life size as a baby would be. So a baby would fill this out a little better because this is a newborn swaddle sack. The other thing is primarily for comfort. So when you have finished, you want to put baby over your shoulder, and then you want to rub their back and make sure there's no big lumps or bumps, because if you've done a great job and their hands are secure and they now feel like they're back in their womb and everything is nice and snuggy, the worst thing that you can do is have them be uncomfortable with lots of bumps underneath, because if you lie them down, they're going to start to wiggle. So this is the Halo Swaddle sack, and this is probably my favorite for simplicity and for ease. And it also means that as you transition out of it and into a regular sleep sack, that baby is already familiar with it and comfortable. So we'll take this off and then we'll move on to the next one. And so to remove it, just open the Velcro and open the zipper and remove the baby. So it's quite quick. This is made from a very light material, and so it goes in the washing machine, no problem at all, and will dry very quickly. Moving along, this is a swaddle sack, and this is by Swaddle Me. There's a number of different brands that produce this in one form or another. And so what we have is the leg part for the legs to go in. So that's almost like the sleeping bag aspect. But then we don't have the zipper. So lay out your Swaddle Me sack, get as much of the bumps out as you can. And then you're going to position your baby. In this one, you have to look at the position. So we are looking to put the shoulder blades at the top of the sleep sack, or the swaddle sack, or the swaddle. And the reason for that is because once we close it up, we don't want it closing up here. So the Halo had the guidance because of the actual arms, but this, we have to make sure that we're not placing it as we bring it around too high. So we put the arms up top, and as you can see here, it's meeting their shoulder blades right there. We can keep their hands by their side. Now, most babies will not oblige quite as well. Here we have a Velcro patch in the middle. We're going to lay that around about the top of the diaper area. And then we straighten out and make sure that there's no lumps and bumps. There's another Velcro patch here, and it will come across and it will meet the Velcro patch on the base of the tummy. If, depending on the size of your baby, you may want to wrap the second arm. If your baby is a little bit bigger and you're stretching to get this across, then you can just do one arm. And again, weight of the baby, and particularly on their bum, is going to secure the first layer. And then we bring the second arm down, create a little bit of tension. And here we have some bunny ears, and that's going to match the Velcro on this side. And so again, we have our burrito baby. So this is another great way of being able to swaddle your baby and make sure that they are secure and comfortable and not too many layers for going to bed. Some of the swaddles will also come with a car seat opener, which means that you can safely put them in to a car seat and travel with them. Not all swaddles or sleeping bags will have that. It is something I would highly recommend that you look for, because if you are going to bunch up, particularly a much bigger sleeping bag, it is not safe. So just make sure that you look out for that when it comes time to go shopping, or if you're moving up in sizes or different weights, different togs for different times of the year. So now we're going to move on to the old-fashioned way of doing things. So here I have a light cotton sheet, and I'm sure that every one of you that has a baby has a couple of sheets. The other alternative is a large muslin. And so the old-fashioned way of doing it before any of these swaddle sacks were invented was to use a sheet or a light blanket. Wouldn't recommend a blanket because of the fact that you can risk overheating your baby, but a light sheet is okay. Preferably go for something that's breathable, so preferably something in cotton. So here we have a square. We're going to fold it into a triangle. And when we have it in a triangle, we're going to lie it down where the point is pointing towards us. And again, I'm going to place the baby where their shoulder blades is just at the top of the blanket or the sheet. I'm going to place both of their hands by their side. If this is a real baby, they will immediately move them. So just beware of that. So by holding one arm in, we're going to take one side of the swaddle, give it a little tug so we get a little tension, because without some tension, your baby's going to be waving at you in about 0.3 of a second. So we do need a little tension. So pull a little gentle tug and then wrap across their tummy. So just like the other swaddle, depending on how big your muslin is or how big your sheet is, you may have enough room to tuck in the second arm. And if you don't, that's okay. You can just go for a roll where you roll the baby over and tuck it in. And again, we're making sure that there's no lumps and bumps, but we are going for the weight of the baby to anchor it down. If you have room, I would suggest putting the second hand in on the first roll. It just gives you a little bit more security. In terms of, babies are great at waving and being Houdinis. So again, we take the second side, give it a little tug, pull it over, and as we meet the other side, we wrap it over, then we pick baby up. And then we're going to check for lumps and bumps again. So we've got no lumps, no bumps, which means that we now have the old-fashioned way of swaddling. When I swaddle like this, I like to make sure that baby's legs are out, baby's feet are out. Now, obviously I wouldn't put a baby to bed like this because I risk their legs and their feet getting cold. They probably would have some pair of footed pajamas or pajamas and socks on. The reason that we're not doing anything in terms of turning them into a complete burrito, which would resemble something a little like this, is because we do not want to restrict any movement in the hips or the legs. So that if baby wants to curl their legs up or straighten their legs out or do whatever they want to do, there is absolutely zero restriction on their hips. They're completely free to move as they should do. There is further guidance available online for you when it comes to why swaddling was a little controversial when it came to hip dysplasia. So I would advise you to go do a little bit of reading on that. But basically what it boils down to is if you are wanting to swaddle, you can swaddle safely in terms of taking the temperature into consideration, but also making sure that your baby's hips and legs are free to be able to move as they need to, which is often why you'll find that most sleep sacks are a lot longer than what you would anticipate them needing to be, thinking, I don't have a baby that's 4 foot in height. So it is something that you can do some reading on. If you have any questions, if you have any concerns, please do comment below and let us know how we can help you. If there's any information that you would like and you can't find it, by all means, we can help you to find more information. If you're interested in learning more about safe sleep, you can visit our website or you can visit the Halo website. So that's our information for you today on swaddling. I hope you found it helpful, and now you can go practice how to either swaddle your own baby, or if you're currently pregnant, you can go swaddle up some teddy bears or some dolls that you have at home. And obviously, if you have any questions, we are always here. If you've liked today's video, do give us a thumbs up. We would love to see that thumbs up coming from you. And of course, we would also love it if you wanted to subscribe to our channel. We'll be back every Thursday at 11:15 a.m. with a new video, and if there's content that you want to see us create for you, then comment below and we will do everything we can to provide that video for you. So until then, happy swaddling and have a great day. Bye-bye.